My fiancé ex rear-ended my wedding car on purpose and demanded I leave my own house. On my wedding day, a young woman rear-ended my dowry car, a $300,000 car my parents bought for my marriage. Through the rearview mirror, I saw her get out of her car. She walked over slowly, wearing a pink lace dress, looking barely 22 like a college student. My fiancé jumped out and joked with her, trying to crash the wedding. She just stood there silently. Seeing my confusion, he said, casually, "My ex lives nearby." Then he took over handling the insurance, claiming she wouldn't know how to do it properly. We had to postpone the ceremony and missed the auspicious time while they dealt with paperwork. I had to cancel the ceremony, but serve the meal since guests had already arrived. When he came home that night, he didn't mention what happened. Instead, he questioned why I stopped the wedding. When I asked about his ex, he just said, "We broke up 6 months ago. Incompatible." Then he grabbed a towel and said, "You should sleep. I have things to handle." A few days later, I came home during lunch to get some documents. I heard voices from our bedroom and thought my parents might have come over. When I pushed the door open, I stopped cold. She was on top of him in our marriage bed, wearing barely anything. The bed sheets I'd carefully chosen were wrinkled and stained. Her cheap perfume was all over my pillows, and her hair was scattered everywhere. The door hit the wall with a bang. She jumped, but didn't move away. Her eyes were wet, but she was smirking. He pushed her up slowly, wrapping our duvet around her. "You should go. I'll handle this," he said quietly. She gathered her clothes under the duvet. Then she grabbed his arm and said right to my face, "I'll pay back your house money, and you can have your husband back. I like this decoration anyway. Why don't you just leave? Why should I leave my own home?" This apartment was in a prime location my parents had secured through connections. Without me, they could never afford this neighborhood. That evening, he cornered me in the living room. She was still in the bedroom, not even bothering to leave. "Be reasonable," he said. "I can pay you more. Your parents already bought you one house. Why insist on this one?" He rubbed his face. "I don't love you anymore. What's the point of dragging this out?" That's when I finally saw everything clearly. Trying to remove him from the property deed through moral persuasion would be impossible. He had already abandoned all morality. When ethics fail, the law prevails. I ordered several mini security cameras online and had them professionally installed throughout the apartment. I set up a dedicated network connection so I could monitor the apartment from my phone anytime, anywhere. I deliberately avoided bedrooms and bathrooms. I wasn't interested in that kind of evidence. These cameras would catch everything else I needed. After the installation was complete, I packed my essential belongings and moved out of the wedding apartment. The very next day, she eagerly moved in.